evening, everyone. It's your girl Angela and Angela's Southern Comfort Dishes and Seasonings. I am back again with yet another amazing recipe. So this evening we will be making our Southern Buttery Buttermilk Biscuits from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to show you the ingredients that we're working with this evening for our Buttery Buttermilk Biscuits. Let's get started. Okay, so what we have here is we have our buttermilk. Okay, so in the buttermilk we're using today is a cultured whole milk buttermilk. Okay, then I have a cup and a fourth of flour, and the reason why we're going to be using that is because we're going to use this pan just to roll the biscuits out on. Okay, and also um, instead of making the biscuits by hand, I'll be making them in my KitchenAid mixer. Okay, now you can do these by hand. Nothing will change. All the ingredients will be the same. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. All right, so again, like I said, this pan is what I'll lay a little bit of flour on, and we'll roll the biscuits out. I'll coat the my roller with a little bit of flour so the biscuits won't get sticky onto the roller mix. And I also have my biscuit cutters as well. Okay, and you can get these from Amazon. Okay, and they come in different sizes. I'll be making some large biscuits this evening. There are different sizes that you can make. Okay, but this evening we'll just make a few large ones, so I'll put this to the side. Okay, so also I'll go ahead and wipe my bowl out. Okay, all right, so now that we got our bowl wiped out, I always want to double check everything. All right, so let's put this around like this. There we go. It's better. Now, my grandmother would always make her biscuits by hand, so either way you want to do it is fine. Okay, so then we're going to add our dough hook. Okay, so then we have our little spatula here, and the reason why we're using our little spatula is because when we get ready, after we roll the biscuits, what makes them flaky is when you roll them out and you fold them 2 or 3 times in half. You fold them in half again. I'll show you that demonstration all the way to the end. And so we use this to lift the biscuits after you roll them. After you roll the dough out, you just scrape it under the end, flip your dough over, flip it in half again, and you put it in a ball, roll it out. So you'll see how I use this throughout the process. Okay, I just want to show you that. And then we'll use a cake spatula to just wipe any excess flour around the sides. You want to get a good coating, make sure everything's coated on the inside with the mixture. Okay, so in order to make a good buttery buttermilk biscuit, what you need is, of course, some butter, and I'm going to use about 1.5 sticks tonight. Okay, buttermilk and some self-rising flour. Now, if you don't have any self-rising flour and you want to use another alternative of flour, I will tell you this: your dough won't be as fluffy and you won't have exactly what you're looking for. So in order to have a good flaky buttery buttermilk biscuit, use self-rising flour. That is the #1 thing you want. It doesn't matter if it's Pillsbury, it doesn't matter if it's White Lily, it doesn't matter if it's McCormick, not McCormick, I can't think of her name, but anyway, a good self-rising flour. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't think of the name. It's not McCormick. I think of her name, Martha White. That's what I'm looking for. I'm sorry. So again, we're going to use the 3 ingredients: butter, self-rising flour, and buttermilk. Okay, so let's get started. Now, tonight's buttermilk demonstration, I'll probably use about 4 or 5 cups of flour. Okay, so let's get right to it. Here we go. Oh, and my oven is set for 350. So when we finish making the biscuits, we'll put them in the oven, and I will bake them until they're lightly golden brown on top. And then 5 minutes right before they're done, I will melt me a stick of butter, and then I'll get my pastry brush. And when the biscuits come out, I'll just lightly put some butter on top, and you'll have some nice buttery biscuits. Okay, I'll show you that process. Let's get started. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to set this aside for this pan here, so we're not going to touch that. So here, what we're going to do, and tonight I'll be using White Lily self-rising flour. Okay, that's my preference. It's a good flour. 1 cup here. That's about half a cup. And it's okay if you waste a little bit of flour on the counter because you're in your workspace, right? Yeah, we're working. It's all right. So that's 1 cup. All right, there's 2. There's 3. We'll just do it like this. There's 4. There's 4.5. And there's 5. Okay. All right, so since we have 5 cups of flour, and we'll let that stay there in case we need some more, okay? Which I doubt it, but you never know. All right, so now that we have our flour in, set this aside. Let me put in a napkin. Let's get this off right here. All right, here we go. So now that we have our flour in, next thing we want to do is to add our butter. Now, most times you can just take your butter and just cut your butter up into sections. And mine is at room temperature. Okay, you always want to have your butter out about an hour before you get ready to make you some biscuits. Most people like to have their butter nice and cold. I choose not to. And you know what? Tonight I think I'll just go ahead with the 2 sticks of butter. So let me just do this. I have a lot of flour. I also sometimes like to put the Crisco cooking butter sticks. Also, whenever I don't have any butter, I would choose that to use, and that's a great option as well. I'll be honest with you, they make some darn good biscuits. And you can sift your flour before you start. It makes a fluffier biscuit. It does. I'll be honest with you, it really does. Okay, so now here we go. We're gonna lock this in place. Okay, and then we're gonna turn our mixer on. And so right now I have it on at the lowest speed, okay? And so right now what we're doing is we're just mixing, right now what we're doing is we're mixing the butter and the flour together. Let me get the camera back up here. I'm sorry about that. Me and the camera don't get along too well. We really don't. This camera be moving everywhere, honey. Let me adjust this one more time. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. I do apologize. Okay, so here we are. We're back. Okay, so like I said, we're mixing the butter and the dough together. So let's just keep going. Okay, so now that we have our butter and our flour mixed well together, next what we're gonna do is we're gonna add in a cup of buttermilk. Okay, so let me show you that. And we'll gradually add in more buttermilk if needed, okay? So let me show you what we're gonna do. Now I stopped the KitchenAid mixer, but I'll show you. We're gonna start it back up and gradually put in some buttermilk, okay? So we'll put it back on the lowest speed. It's locked in place. Okay, put it back on the lowest speed. We'll take our designated cup that we have for the buttermilk. And I'm just gonna pour about 1 full cup. This buttermilk is, okay. So we're gonna gradually pour There we go. Gradually pour it in. You don't want to pour it real fast, you know, all at once, because then it'll splatter back on you. You have a mess everywhere. And what you're looking for is for that flour to come around from the side of the mixing bowl and incorporate well together. Okay, there we go. So what we're gonna do, that was a cup. So what we're gonna do is add some more. And it's coming along just well. Okay. So I'm going to use my cake spatula just to get that little excess of flour, mix it on in, okay? And that's what we're looking for. And see, that didn't take but a cup and a third of buttermilk, okay? So we're going to stop this because we've reached where we need to be. And what we're looking for is for all that flour is to come away from the side of the mixing bowl, well incorporated with the buttermilk. Now, if you, I will tell you this, if you're making biscuits or homemade dough for a pie shell, and you go to, whether you're doing it by hand or the mixer, a kitchen mixer, and you go to take it out the bowl with your hand or out the mixer and it's really watery, what you want to do is put a little bit more flour on there, because like I said, you're looking for that dough to come away from the side of the bowl, for the side of the bowl to be clean. Now, you are going to have a little sticky parts in the bowl, you know, where you have some flour around the sides, and that's okay. But for the most part, I'll show you when I take this dough hook off what I'm saying, okay? Let me just move this, put this to the side. All right, so let me show you. Let me put this in my trash can. All right, so look, let me show you what we're talking about here. We don't need this buttermilk anymore, so let me put this in the refrigerator. One moment. Okay. Okay, thank you. So now, we'll just set this aside. Let's set this over here, because we're gonna need that. All right, let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. You see how this dough, let me tip the camera. You see how that dough has come away from the side of the bowl? And I'm not even emptying it, you know. This is what you're looking for. You want it to come away from the side of the bowl, okay? Now, you are gonna have to scrape some out, of course. And let me show you here what we're talking about, okay? First of all, let's put down some flour. I'm talking and not even thinking. We're gonna put some flour down because we gotta roll the dough, okay? So let me show you here what I'm doing. This is our little working station here. So what we want to do is we want to add some flour. And just take your hand and just spread it out, because you're going to need every aspect of this to roll this, honey. That's why I had this cup here, just for this. Okay. All right. You want to coat this pan everywhere you can, okay? Now that you've done that, you're not trying to cover the pan, but you just want to have some in your working station to work with, okay? Now, what we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to bring our bowl over here that we're going to put our pan, excuse me, that we're going to bake our biscuits in. And this is going to be our pan, okay? This is what we're going to put our biscuits in. So let's just say, Lord Jesus, let's just put them right here. All right. Next, let's get our dough out here on the pan. All right. See, all I have to do is just move it, and it's coming away from the side of the bowl, just like that. See how it comes on out? That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. And it's okay. See, that's what you're looking for. You want to make sure. And you saw I had 5 cups of flour. And I had about 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. Okay? That's what we're looking for. All right? Get all that goodness, honey. Yes, Lord. All right, let's put that to the side. All right, so next, this is what we want to do. You're going to form it into a ball. And you can tell the color of the dough because it's kind of yellowish. So I have 2 sticks of butter in there. Okay? You can fill the lumps of the butter. Remember what I said. Take your butter out an hour before you want to make your biscuits or your homemade pie crust dough for your upcoming holiday pies. Okay? I remember when my grandmother, we would go visit in the summertime and she would make biscuits. Honey, you know, from the South, you know, you love a good old buttery biscuits with some maple syrup, you know, when your biscuits are fresh out the oven. Grandma would sometimes, she would sometimes take her biscuit and cut it in half, honey, and she would put her small piece of butter in it, and she would have us some maple syrup. Oh my God, that was so darn good. That's one thing I always loved. Grandma was always in that kitchen cooking something homemade, always. Cakes, biscuits, whatever. All right, so now that we form this into a ball, you see how I'm getting some of this flour here? That's what you want, okay? You just want to see, because it's not sticking to the pan. You want it to where you can move that dough around. See there? If your dough is sticking to the countertop, to your work pan, whatever you're working it with, then you need some more flour to prevent it from sticking. All right? All right, this is what you wanted, just to make a ball. All right, so now we're gonna take a little bit of this. All right, you gotta coat your rolling pin. You gotta coat it. All right, gotta coat that rolling pin. All right, and it has a little bit of butter in it. You can fill it. Now, another thing we want to do is we want to take our little cookie thing here. You want to make sure you well coat that. So we're just going to put a little bit of flour right here on the side because we need to take our cutter here for our biscuits. And what we need to do is make sure that it's well coated because we don't want it to stick, okay, when we go to do our biscuits. All right, make sure you get it. Yes, I love cooking. All right, so we got that done, right? So let's just sit there. We forgot to take this out. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with this next. Yes, I always keep my things covered so dust won't be on them. Okay. So I'll show you what we're going to do with this and how we're going to use it. All right, so let's get busy. This is going to be real easy. This will be a recipe you'll remember over and over and over, and you'll love it, honey. Kids love it, family love it. So let's just roll this dough on out. See how it's going? You never want to roll your dough once or twice and say, oh, I got a biscuit. You want some layers to that biscuit. You want some flakiness to that biscuit. And I'm going to show you what makes you get the biscuit nice and flaky and fluffy. I'll show you. Let me just move this out the way for a minute. Move this back some. Perfect. Just keep rolling it. However you got to do it. Just keep rolling it. All right. So next, move this out the way so you can see. I'm sorry. So next, what I'm going to do, this is how you're going to flip it. And the trick is to flip your dough 2 or 3 times. Okay? You see that? Don't worry about that flour. You take the other end, you flip it. Remember, this is what gives your biscuits those layers. And I'm going to do a video showing you how the biscuits are rising in the oven as they're cooking. I'm going to show it to you because when you roll your dough out and you cut your biscuits with the biscuit cutter, you're going to say, oh, they just flat. If you repeat this process of rolling the dough, rolling it out, folding it in half, and continue to roll, that's what you're looking for, okay? We have 2 sticks of butter, 5 cups of flour, 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. And it doesn't matter what kind of buttermilk, whether it's whole buttermilk, cultured buttermilk, it doesn't matter. Whatever buttermilk you want to get, or whatever buttermilk that's on sale in your area at your store. It doesn't matter, honey. Buttermilk is buttermilk, okay? Don't worry about that flour. I'm going to show you the trick with the flour. Don't worry about all the biscuits going to have flour. No, they're not. I'm going to show it to you. Don't want your rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, listen. Get you a glass, okay? Get you a glass. Get you a bottle from I don't care if it's a wine bottle. You can use a barbecue bottle. The trick is you just want to, put a little bit of flour around it, honey. And a little soap and water can clean that bottle off and dry it off with a paper towel, amen? You can use, like I said, a glass. And just make sure your glass is completely clean and well dry with a paper towel. And then what you want to do is just add a little bit of flour around the side if you don't have a rolling pin. And you can roll your dough out this way. It's not right. Hey, you got a jelly jar just about empty? Clean that jelly jar out. Completely clean it 4 or 5 times. Let it air dry for a day or 2. Use that bad baby to roll it out with, whatever you have. All right, we're going to repeat this process, okay? See how we folding that biscuit in half? See all those layers? That's what we're looking for, honey. And you can buy these at a Walmart. You can buy it at Target. You can buy it anywhere. You can use it Amazon, wherever you find it. I found mine, everything I have on Amazon. All right. You smell all that butter. It smells so good. I love bringing you all Southern comfort meals and dishes. Okay, so here we go. Set this to the side again. Like I said, you just keep rolling that dough 3 or 4 times. You fold it, because folding it gives it layers. And remember, the all-purpose flour, I mean, you can add the salt to it and everything, but the self-rising flour is what you're looking for in the biscuits. You want those biscuits to be nice, flaky, buttery, and you want those big biscuits that you're looking for. Okay. All right. So it's going to be my last time folding it, and then we're going to go ahead and cut our biscuits out. See there? That's what you're looking for, baby. I do this so many times. Once you do this twice, honey, you will have this down packed. It is so easy. 3 simple ingredients. Look how I did that. That's all you're trying to do, honey. You don't have to be perfect, because, honey, you're going to roll it out and cut it out anyway, man. All right, here we go. Let's get busy. Let's get this baby going. All right, so next. All right, so next we're gonna go ahead, cut out our biscuits. You just push it down, like slightly turn, push it down, slightly turn, push it down, slightly turn, push it down, slightly turn. Like I said, once you do this 2 or 3 times, you will have this. Look at these biscuits, and you have a little bit of flour in the back, honey. Just brush them off. That's all you're trying to do. See those biscuits? All right. That's all you have to do. You said, Miss Angie told me it'll be just that easy. Okay. These are going to be some big biscuits. If you notice, I hardly had any on the back, any residual flour on the back, but that's okay. If you do, you just go ahead and you just tap it a little bit and get that excess flour off. It's going to be okay. It's just bread. My daughter and my oldest son, my third oldest daughter, they like to race for, my grandmother, she would make homemade biscuits. There was always that little bit of dough at the end that was enough just for like one big biscuit. And she would save that one for herself. My grandmother would, right? Well, my kids, my oldest son and our third oldest daughter, they like to race for the last of the dough to say, oh, that's going to be my big biscuit. They love it. And when the biscuits are done, and I've buttered all the biscuits on top with melted butter as they come out the oven, they always say, who has the last biscuit? I want that biscuit. And I just sit back and I just laugh. But I love seeing people eat. It reminds me of my late Aunt Mary. She would always say, and just like my mother always say, it's just food, just eat. As long as everybody has enough to eat. But honey, the older our kids get, and I ain't no old person, baby, okay? But the older our kids get, they always want to have that last special part of something that's being cooked. And I'm like, Jesus, I just laugh. Because you know me, I'm going to get that butter biscuit. I'm going to go ahead and give me a piece of maple syrup. Probably, hey, cook something to go along with it so good that you'll enjoy with that nice buttermilk biscuit. And I just sit there and just laugh. And while they fighting over the last big old biscuit, Miss Angie go right on, baby. And she just be eating. Okay, so we're going to do this. Your family will love these. Heck, you will love them. See how easy that is? Like I said, you have a little bit of flour in the back. It's all right. I'll tell you something. My nephew down in Atlanta, Georgia, my cousin, we're first cousins, but we are so darn close. We're like sisters. And I'm the oldest of 3. And I'll tell you, her son, my nephew, I showed him I was making some biscuits this past weekend, and his mouth was so watery. His mouth was so watery. He was like, "Ooh, I want some. Mommy, can you make me some?" And she had to make the nephew some biscuits. I just laughed. I love seeing people eat. I love coming together with family and just eating and having a good time, and everybody just eating, sitting around laughing, eating, having a few drinks. Especially dessert time. I love making desserts. But honey, I'm gonna tell you about my auntie Rita back home. My auntie Rita, she be waiting on everybody's recipes, and I just laugh at her. She would sit back and say, that's what you for. I want you to come cook. Just last night, she was talking about me coming to cook at her house. I said, no, you can go on YouTube and watch the videos. But I love her. She's so funny. She's so funny. That's Auntie Rita. She's so funny. All right. So what I'm going to do on this biscuit here, And I was just talking and didn't pay attention. See, you can actually do it by hand. See there? It's gonna say fold it over. See there? Honey, you just fold that big baby on over there, honey. Just make you a ball the best way you can, baby. Get on in there, make you a ball, honey. It ain't gotta be perfect. When you do this 2 or 3 times, you will have this. You will have this. And you'll be like, girl, y'all want some biscuits? You won't be buying them biscuits at the store. You hear me? You won't be buying them biscuits. Now, I admit, I do buy the kids some biscuits sometime when I don't want to cook. But, honey, Miss Angie get in here and make them biscuits. Y'all hear me? And you will, too. You'll thank yourself later. You will thank yourself later. All right. Let's get busy. Don't worry about this workstation being, honey, you working, okay? You're working for the family, all right, man? Ain't nothing a little soap and water can't clean up. Get you some Dawn liquid detergent and dish detergent, and clean up that kitchen. They'll be fine. All right, so next, we're gonna go ahead and roll this dough out, and then we'll go ahead and just go ahead and make out some more biscuits, just like this. You're gonna push down, slightly turn, push down, slightly turn, push down, slightly turn, just like that. All right, and you see hardly have any dough on the back, okay? All right, and we can probably get 2 more biscuits in here. After this, I can get 1 more biscuit in this pan. All right, okay. All right, let's see if we can get 1 more in there. It's hard pieces of dough with the butter in it. And I'll come back to you and I'll do a separate video of the biscuits. They don't take long to rise in the oven because you have that self-rising dough. So once it gets in that heat, about 5 or 10 seconds later, honey, those biscuits be so big. I will do a video on that just to show you. And if you have any questions, just email me anytime and I will help you. All right, so here we go. So I'm looking for 1 more biscuit to go in this pan. All right. Look at that. Okay. Okay. Let me get 1 more pan to put this in. Let me get the metal pan. And I'm going to put this in a metal pan by itself. My daughter is passing it to me right now. Thank you. So we're going to put it in this one by itself. Okay. And you don't need to spray the pan. You can use parchment paper. You can use non-stick foil by Reynolds if you're afraid of something sticking, but it won't because you have that butter in there, okay? You won't have to worry about that. And this is a small piece left, so let's make this for, one of those young adults back there who want a biscuit. Because they be racing for the biscuits. And so these are going to cook for like probably 25 minutes. 25 minutes, they'll be done. My oven is already set to 350. It's ready to go. It's nice and warm. I mean, nice and hot. Did I say warm? All right, so here we are. Try to get that biscuit as big as I can get it, honey. And you see this is flat, right? These biscuits are flat, right? Like I said, watch till when they start cooking and they rise, okay? That's that. So I'm going to move this out the way. Get that ready for to be washed. Okay, so let me show you what we have. So in this pan, we just have a single 1 biscuit, personal size biscuit, just as my grandmother would do. Now, if you choose to melt your butter and lightly put it on there prior to cooking your biscuits, you can do that. That's optional. Okay, I don't do that. Now, see what we have here? We have 15 biscuits, okay? 15 biscuits. 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 You have 15 biscuits, and you see how these biscuits are, okay? And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put these biscuits in the oven, okay? And I will come back to you and I will show you as these biscuits are cooking in the oven how big they get, okay? If you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime. My email is in the about section, okay? I thank you all for watching. Try this and you're gonna love it. Have a good night. I'm so sorry this camera's moving. Try this recipe. You and your family, your loved ones, everybody's gonna enjoy these. These are gonna be mouth-watery, buttery buttermilk biscuits. See you soon. Thank you for watching. Okay, everyone, I wanted to come back and show you the video of the biscuits, how big they've gotten in the oven. So let me come down here just a little bit more so you can see if I can. Okay, there we go. Good picture. See how big they've gotten? That's that self-rising flour. They've risen so big. And see that small piece of dough we had over there, the biscuits? See how big it's gotten? Okay, so I just wanted to come and show you, all right? And look, we're only about 10 minutes into the biscuits baking. Look at that. Okay, I'll come back to you as soon as they're done. See you soon. Hello, everyone. I'm back. So the buttermilk biscuits are done from the oven. And so I want to show you what they look like before I put the butter on it. Okay, so what I've done is melted a stick and a half of butter. Okay, and this is salted butter. And I forgot to mention that earlier during my demonstration of the buttermilk biscuits. I use salted butter when making my biscuits. Okay, so come on, let me show you what we're doing here. Okay, so like I said, we have a stick and a half of melted butter, salted. Okay, and so here are our biscuits. Okay, and here is the large one. Remember, it was a small dough. Okay, so let me show you. And I have a pastry brush here ready to go. Okay, so we have our melted butter. So let me see if I can get this a little bit more. I'm gonna move the camera back just a little so you can see me, okay? All right, here we go. So I'm just gonna take this melted butter, just turn it around like that, just stir it a little bit. And so what you wanna do, and if you don't have a pastry brush, just use your spoon and just get in there, honey, and get you a little bit of that melted butter and just, you know, just gradually put some on top of the biscuits. Now, like I said earlier, my grandmother, when the biscuits would come out the oven, honey, she would take it as soon as it came out the oven. She would never let it cool off. And she would just put her small pinch of margarine in there, you know, get the little butter knife and put her piece of margarine in the middle of the biscuits. And honey, like I said, she had that maple syrup, and that's what we would do. And you see what I'm doing? This is just as my grandmother did it. Yes. And you see how golden brown they look? This is what you want to do. So we're just gonna lightly butter these. And you see how big they've risen? This is what I was telling you. And I'm gonna take one out and show you what they look like. And I'm just gonna butter this one here, same way. I just took the butter off the fire. All right. You see that there? Nicely golden brown flaky biscuit. You don't just want to pour this over there because you don't want to have all that butter in the bottom of that biscuit. You don't want that. You don't want to pick up a pan of biscuits with all that butter there. You just want to lightly put some on your biscuits. I hope that you all will love these biscuits. I know you will. I don't have to worry. I know you will. I know your family will love them as well. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. Okay. So now we're just about done putting butter on these two here. And I'll just kindly put some You know, a little bit around the sides. That's what my grandma would do on top and around the sides. Yes, honey, they smell so daggone good. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit around the side. All right, and we're done, honey. Just put a little bit more in there. You don't need much. You don't want to have a pan with all that butter in the bottom. See, the trick is as soon as these biscuits come out the oven, the trick is as soon as they come out, you go ahead and have that butter melted. And I melted this butter like 4 minutes before I took them out the oven. Excuse me. Okay, so here we are. Here are our buttery buttermilk biscuits, all complete. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is take one out the pan and I'm gonna show you. This is what the biscuit looks like. And you see those layers there, how there's risen? This is how big those biscuits got. And I'll just pour this one open for you. It's so hot, it's piping hot. See that there? It's smoking. Can you see that? It is smoking. Yes, that biscuit is smoking. So try this video. You're gonna love it for the biscuits. Your family will love it as well. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this video and what you think about the biscuits. I know you and your family will absolutely love them. They're easy. You saw me. I had 5 cups of self-rising flour. I had 1 1/4 cups of buttermilk. I had 2 sticks of salted butter. And you saw the whole demonstration. You can't go wrong. If you have any questions, if you would like for me to help you through the process, you know, you could FaceTime me, you can Google Duo me, just send me an email and I will stay with you through the course. I have a private Facebook page just for things like that in case people want to make my recipe. And you see the directions that I put in the description, but you're not really sure about it. I had a friend of mine tell me, I don't know if I can make your meatloaf. I'll be afraid to do it without you. And I told this person, you can do it. I will stay on Google Duo with you. So if anytime you want to make one of my recipes, just email me and we can set up a time and date for your convenience and I will gladly assist you through the process. Look for my private group on Facebook. It's Angela's Southern Comfort Dishes and Seasonings, okay? I have 2 pages. One of them is a private. Join both of my Facebook pages. Like I said, one of them is a private one. Also, leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the biscuits. Share this video with your family, your friends, your church member, your loved ones, anyone you want to. Share this video. Share my pages. I appreciate you all. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe. Stay safe. And as your kids prepare for back to school, keep them safe too for those who have to go back in the building. Once again, I'll show you the picture of the buttery buttermilk biscuits. Okay, here we go. Let me show you one more time. Oh yeah, baby. That's it. Look at that. Remember, and that was just a small piece, remember? Oh well, yes. And this pan is spiked, it's hot. Yes, Lord. Yes. Okay, all right. Good night, everyone. I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe. Bye-bye. Thank you.